As you talk sports, they were talking boxing. Proudly joined as always by Oladipo. How are you doing today?
Good. Long. It's weird. It's not long days. It's like long nights because the actual events don't start till like 7 o'clock in the evening, and then it just goes on and on and on and on and on. But this was interesting, the presser, just because I was waiting to see who was going to attack who. First part of it wasn't great. No one said anything. The second part, Daniel Dubois lit it up. Of all the people on that table, I was like, he ain't going to say anything. He decided to say some stuff. So it got interesting. And I feel like the weigh-ins are going to go like that, and then it's just going to go crazy come fight night.
Did that surprise you? Obviously, I think it surprised most people that Daniel Dubois' comedic, to say the least, outbreak.
Yeah, it's almost like someone just had that line for him. Someone's like, yeah, here's the line, make sure you set it just like this. But no, look, Dubois is a better talker than he was a few years ago, and that's not his thing. Not everyone can be Tyson Fury on the mic, do you know what I mean? Some people just have their things, and Dubois is, I will show you what I can do in the ring. And I think he looks fired up. I think he looks a lot looser under Don Charles. And let's not forget, prior to the controversial knockdown against Usyk, he was doing good in that fight. He was doing very, very good against a good mover. So I think it's a better Daniel Dubois. It's a more confident Dubois. It's a Dubois who's still so young, but it's in the good, the bad, and the ugly of boxing. And I think he learns from that. And look, I ultimately think he's a better boxer than Jarrell Miller, but we'll see how that plays out. I don't know what Jarrell Miller's going to turn up. Is it the one pre-performance enhancing drugs or this new version? We'll see.
And obviously a bit more on Daniel Dubois. I know it's not good to contest a fighter's heart, but people have been saying that. Do you think there is an issue with Daniel Dubois' resilience, will to win?
It's a tough one. Just because, and I think boxing, it's even harder when you ask about it from the sport of boxing, because these guys and girls are taking so much punishment. Who knows how their bodies are feeling and what their minds are going through. Obviously, look, those things are there. The Joe Joyce one, the Alexander Usyk one. But even if that was the case, it's Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk. It was Joe Joyce who was a killer up until the Zhang fight, and it's Alexander Usyk who could be the best fighter on the planet. No problem, no shame. So we'll see how it plays out. If it happens again, then obviously we have to start talking about it. But for now, I think it's just a case of he's up against really good fighters and he finds his level and he can't get over that level. Whether that's quitting or not, I'm not quite sure.
And obviously, something else that I heard you mention before, Deontay Wilder is very old, not very old, I suppose that's a bit rude to say, but 38, in terms of heavyweight, in terms of boxing terms, a lot of fighters have retired by now. Inactive, if you want to say, he did have a fight a little over a year ago, but as you mentioned, was it, 2 minutes, if that? Do you think there's a possibility of ring rust for Deontay?
Maybe. In fact, probably definitely. And not only ring rust, I guess there are question marks as well about his punch resistance. He took a lot of punishment against Tyson Fury. I would like to have seen that Helenius fight go maybe 4 or 5 rounds so we can see him maybe take 1 or 2, see what the gas tank's like. But he's an athlete. He's not someone that piles on the muscle. You look at him, he's so lean, he's a good mover. Malik Scott's got him moving a little bit as well. So there will be ring rust, but he'll overcome that quickly. And again, it's only one punch. And it really is, he throws that left and then throws that right and it's lights out. But I think of all the fights on the card, this is the one that intrigues me the most, because I think Joseph Parker's looking good under Andy Lee. It was a good win against Simon Keane last time out. I like Joseph Parker. I like him. I like the way he looks. He's only 31. He's had so many fights, big fights, small fights. He's done everything in the sport. So this is a big one, very big one.
And then for the main event of the card, obviously, I'm not sure if you've seen it online, but Anthony Joshua's been, copping a lot of hate. If you want to say, in regards to his interactions with the media. I'm not sure if you've had any interactions with him, but what have you made?
He's been fine with me. He's been great. We spoke yesterday. We spoke today. Look, I mean, obviously the person you're referring to is Dev, who's behind us. He's maybe seen some things that he said in the past, doesn't really fancy it, and that's how it is. I mean, fighters are like that, right? Fighters can get, I've had fighters not wanting to talk to me before. It happens. Maybe not a grand stage, but it happens. AJ's okay. He's in fight mode now. It's a tough fight he's got coming up, and that's AJ. But behind the scenes, if you go and find him, he's probably smiling. But in front of the camera, he's got this mean demeanor. He's okay. He's okay. Again, he's in fighter mode. He knows what's expected of him. He knows what the future holds for him if he wins on Saturday. And I think that's all he cares about right now.
And do you think he will get the victory against Otto Wallin? And if so, how do you see it happening?
He has to get the victory. He has to, and I think he'll stop him. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? I thought he was going to stop Jermaine Franklin, who I think is underrated, and he didn't. I thought he was going to stop Helenius a lot earlier. He got to him, but before he got to him, it wasn't great. Now he's added Ben Davison in the camp, so there's a lot going on there, a lot of mixes. But ultimately, AJ is a better fighter and boxer than Otto Wallin. And if AJ is fully on his game, he stops Otto Wallin before 8 for me.
Is it possible for him to be fully on his game? You know, as you mentioned, the change of trainer from Derek James. Obviously, I think 4 trainers in the last 5 fights. All this going on, you know, short notice. Do you think it's possible for him to be on his game? And do you think there's a possibility for complacency?
No. When you've been doing this as long as AJ's been doing this, you know when to switch on to be in your game. He's not like he's new to this. And this Olympic gold medalist, world championship silver medalist, former unified heavyweight champion, big wins, big losses. He knows when to press the button to be on his game. Like mentally, of all the fighters that I've ever spoken to, mentally he's right up there in terms of one of those that are just fully focused on it. So he's okay, he's fine. For AJ, although the Wilder thing's looming, for AJ there's always a big fight next. It might not be as big as Wilder, but there's always a big one next. Just another day in the office. He knows what the job is in front of him on Saturday, and he's got a good team. I've seen some good people around him. I see KD, Michael Jarman's here. So he's obviously got good people around him to make sure that he gets the job done and gets it done properly.
Let's hope that job gets done properly. Thank you very much for your time, Ade, as always. I really appreciate it.